Hello there, Eagles fans, and welcome back to our Eagles Therapy Podcast. My name is Basil.
And I'm Baz.
We're coming at you with a little bit of a lower quality episode, most likely. Again, back-to-back weekends, we are recording out of state and out of our normal place. This week we're in Philadelphia, which is actually on better circumstances because we got to watch the Eagles-Dolphins game, which was phenomenal. What do you got to say about that, Dad?
Well, we were at the Linc for the first time for me and first time for you, and it was incredible. We got there real early. We went in the stands. We got to our seats. We stood around. We were part of the whole Kelly Green thing. We had our phones synced up. We had the little dancing going on. It was a wonderful time. Well worth the money. Well worth the time. If you ever get a chance to go to a game at the Linc, I tell you right now, it is a life event right there. It was just wonderful. We had a great time.
Definitely, yeah. Like I said, lower quality because we won't be able to edit anything, so we won't be able to put the audio on top of the video. So the video that you're getting from us right now is it's going to be a rough sound, but it's going to be the best we can do this week. No Wi-Fi out here and everything, kind of like last week. But we are recording October 23rd, the Monday after the Eagles-Dolphins game, which again was just so much fun. We can't even emphasize how great it was. Just a phenomenal time, and we do miss our club and our bar back home. But man, we are having a good time. We'll go ahead and just jump on into it. You know how we do these episodes. So starting off, we'll go ahead and jump into the recap of the Eagles and Dolphins game. Eagles won 31-17. Just a great game. Emotions everywhere. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Just up and down. There was times that we were flying high and times that we were, about to cry.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because in the game itself, being at the game and being with every play, but when you look back at it, we really beat them pretty bad. It was real awesome. The players were great. The defense was phenomenal. It was just a great time, and the fans there are just incredible. So much fun. It was splattered with some Dolphins fans, which really surprised me.
I was surprised as well. There was a lot more Dolphins fans than I expected.
There was a lot. I had one sitting right behind me. Every time they came past us in the row, we would just keep telling them to go down, keep going, keep going.
Don't text us. You keep going down.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll jump into just a performance overview of the offense starting off. The passing game, pretty darn good except for a few plays. 23 of 31, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns that were phenomenal touchdowns. Horrible interception, a pick 6, and also a fumble that was really rough. And that's 10 of the points they received right there. You have to remember that. Hurts fumbled it, or I don't want to say he fumbled it, sack fumble. He got sack fumbled.
Got it from behind.
Strip sack, yeah. And then they kicked a field goal, and then pick 6 at 7, 10. That's 10 points of their 17. So great job to the defense, which we'll get into, but great job to them. Running game, a little bit of a rough one, a little bit of a rough at times. 24 for 99 yards. A couple good runs here and there, but overall, not the best running game we've had, which was kind of surprising because the Dolphins' run defense wasn't very
expected. It's funny,
good.
Every time you hear people talk about they're ranked 25th, and you throw that out when you're playing another team. I've come to that realization this year when it doesn't matter if they're missing an offensive lineman or 2 tackles. It doesn't matter. They seem to hold up. Now I know we had a little trouble the week before, but even so, it wasn't like they were able to key on that one player. But it's amazing. Their running game was pretty abysmal. We've had a few weeks now that we didn't really do well, but Swift busted off one late in the game to seal it, and so that's all you really need is that timely running. And we talked about Gainwell. He only ended up with 16 yards on 8 carries, so he had 2 yards a carry, but every yard again was hard fought. He had a nice carry there, get us down to the 5-yard line on one of those. I think we're at the 10 at the time, and it pretty much sealed the game. He put it in. It was just amazing, but it wasn't a high-flying offensive game that everyone thought that was going to be because the Dolphins themselves, we cut their total yardage in half. So I don't want to get into your offensive scheme.
No, you're good.
Defensive scheme, but we shut them down the whole game. I mean, they had -7 yards in the first half.
Correct, yeah.
And we had talked about that to our keys to the game last week on the preview, because we were really afraid to play the Dolphins this week. And that was one of the things that we had said in the preview was shut the running game down. And it really did make a difference. I mean, they only had, like I said, -7 yards in that first half. And it wasn't until late in the third quarter they finally had positive rushing yards.
Yes, correct.
And they ended up with, 45 or...
I think it was 40. I don't have it exactly. I think 43 or 47.
Well, I know he had 45 yards. And then I think Tua had -3. And the other guy might have had 10 yards. So they really only ran for maybe 50, 2 yards or something total.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was amazing.
And you have to remember our run game average goes down because we were 24 for 99 is what I saw. That average goes down immensely because we had a bunch of QB sneakers. We had 4 of those. We were 4 for 4, I believe, on that. Which we were also 4 for 4 on fourth down, which was phenomenal. 4 of what was it? 4 of 11.
4 of 11 on a third down percentage, but 4 of 4 on fourth down.
Yeah,
so
which eliminates some of that. You're right. It eliminates some of that 4 of 11 because we got
kind of overlook it when you get
correct.
You end up on the first down with that. But yeah, those 2 pushes we had there in the fourth quarter that sealed the game.
Oh,
and you could tell after we got the second one, and that's the greatest thing about being at the game. We could see we were scoring a touchdown before anybody else knew we were. I mean, we knew it was a touchdown.
Absolutely.
On what? 2 of the touchdowns, we knew he was going to score when he was 15 yards out.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun being live because deep plays and you see, like we knew Goddard was going to get in for the touchdown.
For sure.
When they threw the screen out to him, it was like, oh, he's, Mailata's blocking for him. Oh, it's over.
Yeah.
Same thing with, AJ. He snuck between 2 guys and you could kind of tell he was going to kind of squeeze through. It was cool.
It just changes the way you see the game. It's tough. We have a great time at the bar watching the game, but you're just watching on that little screen, even if it's a 75-incher, you're not seeing what's happening. It was just so amazing. I don't know if a lot of people have been to actual games because obviously you can't go to the Phillies game, the Eagles games. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But even for people living out in Colorado, you got to travel either up to Denver or whatever. And if you have never been to a live game, man, that you got to go. And it just changes the whole thing. And gosh, it makes it so much more fun.
Absolutely.
Being with Philly fans. I had never been to the Linc, and the Linc's been open since 2003. So we got 20 years it's been open. I have never been to a game at the Linc. I went to the Vet. It was a different vibe, a different stadium. It still had the fans, but man, this place was unbelievable. It was just amazing.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll go ahead and jump on over to the defense. Like we said, we'll kind of gloss over this because we did say it. A great game by the defense. They held them to 7. Their only true score against the defense was the before the half great drive they had. I got to hand it to them. Tyreek Hill is just the best receiver in the league. Maybe second behind AJ Brown, but but still, definitely one of, if not the best receiver in the league. He's incredible.
I do want to say this thing though. We were watching the game. We're going, somebody please cover Hill.
Yeah.
Please double him. But then at the same time, on the other side of the field, it's like somebody please cover AJ Brown because he seemed to be open all day long. But Hill was. It's so funny in Hill. They just kept throwing him the out passes, the quick passes. The flip passes, everything they could do to get him involved, and we really ended up shutting him down. I know you got some stats on him.
Yeah, only 88 yards for Hill is incredible.
Incredible.
I think it was. So I think he had. I'd have to pull it up, but
pretty sure
he had 11 for 88.
Yes.
One of his catches, the touchdown pass, was
27.
27 yards.
Right.
So again, 88 minus 27.
That's
60.
It's about 60.
61,
Right.
61, 62, whatever. There's 61. Yeah.
So 10 for 61.
So it's 10 for 61, which is
6.1
yards
yes.
carry. Or a catch. He was averaging 19 before that.
Right.
So I'm pretty happy.
We cut his per catch average in the third.
We
divided
it by
19 to
3.
6.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
Huge.
pretty incredible. The defense overall has played a great game. The D line was in there a lot. They didn't let the run happen very much, like we said. Defensive backs were able to hold their own.
I tell you what, they grew up today. Some of the players that were out there, we were hurting. We were missing Bradbury.
No.
Blankenship.
Yes.
We're missing Blankenship. And it just, Slade played amazingly, but some of the young guys, it was just amazing.
Well, I was going to mention, Ricks had the best play of the game. Fourth down and 10.
Yes.
He was on Hill, didn't let him get away from him, didn't let him squeeze away from him, and he jumped in and he knocked that ball down. That was the game-winning play, really.
That was great.
Well, let's go ahead and jump over special teams. Was subpar game, nothing to really write home about. Nothing bad. Just Elliott couldn't get the kick out of the end zone. It seemed like the wind was kind of affecting that.
That was strange.
Kind of frustrating us because we hate kick returns. Kick it out of the end zone.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm saying I want the kick return to get rid of my team. I want them to return for a touchdown, but don't let the other team kick return. Get it out of the end zone. Make them start at 25, which they need to change it back to the 20. But I don't want to get into that. What do you want to see more of going forward?
Well, it's so hard coming off the high of yesterday's game. You just kind of look at it, you're just like, well, there was nothing that I could say was bad except for right before the half, again, we were shutting them down. They had a 3rd and 18 from their own 28, 30-yard line, and they got the first down. And that was very, very upsetting because I'll tell you, we get the ball there. There's a little more than 2 minutes left. We could almost put the game away. So that's what I want to see. I want to see them put the game away when they should.
Yeah.
They did it for the Rams a few weeks ago.
Yep, that's right.
They did it yesterday too, and that was just awful.
It's funny you mentioned that because, like we said, when you're at the game, you can see guys get open, and you're like, "Oh, he's open! He's gonna make." And it sucks because you can also see that with the other team.
Yes.
And I'm watching, and we were on the side of the field. We were on the Eagles side of the field,
Right.
and I saw that guy break away, and Sidney Brown went the wrong way, and I was like, oh, I knew it was gonna be a first down before he even threw it. I was like, oh no, like. It stings because you already know, like you already see what's happening before it happens.
Right.
So you're like, no, he's gonna get the first down. Like,
And they got the quick strike offense, and it was 17-3 at the point, and then they scored right before the half.
Correct.
And that made it 17-10, and kind of
put a damper on our halftime. Unfortunately, we were pretty upset.
Yeah.
Their halftime show, I can't remember who. I don't remember what their name is, but the whoop, there it is. All that.
Yes.
And it was fun and stuff, but I just I couldn't. I was just so upset that they. Even though we were winning, it felt like we were kind of losing or kind of tied. What I want to see less or more of, but kind of less of, I need to see less turnovers still. Jalen adds more to his turnover amount. Horrible fumble. He stayed in the pocket too long.
Way too long.
You got to feel it. Interception. Some people around us were kind of mad because I told my dad, I'm like, dude, he has become... he was one of the best last year in protecting the football. He's become one of the worst.
Yeah.
The guy's like, you can't blame that on Jalen. That's the offensive line's fault. I'm like, no. That was an extra blitzer. Everyone on the offensive line had someone to cover on that play. That was an extra blitzer. Throw it at his foot.
Yeah.
Don't throw it at his hand. Don't throw it at his stomach. Throw it at his foot.
I know it's funny because I think we're just more critical than most regular fans. They seem to put the positive spin, or they look at the bright side, while you and I look at the bad side, and we're like, dude, you got two guys coming at you. It's a first down. Throw the ball on the ground, like you said. Don't try and make a play. He gets a shoulder hit. The guy picks it off, runs it in the end zone. Nobody touches him.
It's hero ball. Is
it was
what
awful.
It is. And my sister is over there. She's behind the camera right now looking at us laughing because she's a positive person. And we're the opposite, so it's kind of rough. But
we're only positive. I mean, we're not negative when we're up by 30. That's about it.
Of course not.
Yeah, so
and even then, I'm pretty bad.
Depends how much time's left in the game, but it's true. I know that. We know that about ourselves. It's just that's the way we are. That's the way we're always going to be. But at one point, Baz was after that interception, he was screaming, and the guy in front of us turned around. His name is Arch. He's a season ticket holder for 38 years, so we have to talk to him a little bit. Went from the vet, went back to the Linc. Still up there with a bunch of buddies in his row, and he kind of snapped at Baz. He turned around and he said, "That's not his fault." And me and him are looking at him, going, "Yeah, it is."
Yeah, he went to the bathroom, and I'm like, I don't care what he says.
That's okay.
We cannot. That is absolute. Throw it somewhere in the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was first down. First and 10.
I don't want to get too long on it, but I just want to see less turnovers. I need to see less turnovers because if you realize that I'm about to say my kind of next thing, like in a few seconds about the defense again. The defense held them to 3 points. 7 points. Sorry, the one touchdown.
The one touchdown.
The fumble, 3 points. The pick six, 10 points.
Yeah.
Dude, the defense is. Sometimes the defense is insane, but I'll move on over.
But that was same as the Jets game. The defense
absolutely
played great. The offense
phenomenal.
didn't. But I'll tell you what, being at the game, and we did get 4 touchdowns out of the team.
Great.
And we got to sing at the stadium, Fly Eagles Fly, and there is nothing like that. We had a blast. That was awesome.
When they shut the lights down and the green, that was great.
Kelly Green.
The fact that we went to the Kelly Green game too. I know we're jumping off topic because we're just having so much fun out here. Right now we're recording in Drums, Pennsylvania, but we've been kind of moving around. We started out in Philly, we stayed in Jersey, but man, our time at the stadium was just electric, unreal. It was just amazing. We went to Xfinity Live. We went to, we walked around Citizens Bank. We were near Wells Fargo Center. We're big Phillies fans. I'm a big Sixers fan. Follow the Flyers and the Wings and the Union.
Yes.
It was just so great to be here.
We got some tips for you too. If you ever go down to a game, get there real early. We went over to Frank Delano Roosevelt Park about 1:30 in the afternoon when everybody else was waiting to get into the gates, the ABC lots over there by the Linc, and paying $45. They were in line, we were in line, and my daughter's like, "Dad, let's go check them." So we took a U-turn, went down the street, crossed over Broad Street on Patterson, and then we saw an entrance to the park. And I was telling the guys when I was a kid, we used to go to that same park, and we used to park. As we pulled in, we would take our Eagles gear off, and we would just go in, and they would ask us at the gate, like when we're pulling in, "Are you guys going to the Eagles game?" We're like, "No, we can't afford the Eagles game. We're just going to the park to play some football." So we would park over by Broad Street, right there on that side of the park, and we didn't pay for parking. So I told them about it. As I'm pulling in, I don't see anybody taking money. So I made a right. We found some guys that were trying to hang a tree. TV on
a tree,
which they've been doing for years. And so I pulled over. They had some cones out. I grabbed an open parking spot, and then we walked over and talked to him. And he said, "Yeah, we come here." But I saw a security guard there, and I said, "Do you work for the parking lot?" Or he was working for the city. I said, "Hey, can we just park here?" He said, "Sure." And I said, "Well, they didn't charge us." And he goes,
"Yeah.
Oh, boy, then they must not be here yet."
Like, "Oh, they didn't charge you? Well, you're here early enough."
You're here early enough. And I said,
great.
"Okay." So we saved $45.
Yep.
And then we had a walk.
So we spent that. We spent that at Xfinity Live.
What was that? 15 minutes.
Oh, absolutely.
Walk to the Linc.
Oh, it was a 14-minute walk to Xfinity Live, and then another 4-minute walk to the Linc.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was incredible. It was incredible.
Jumping on over. Sorry, that's our little tangent. We're just having so much fun.
Tips for you to go.
Jumping on over how our selected players play. This is going to be a quick one. I chose Devontae last week as my player to look forward to. 4 receptions, 49 yards, 5 targets. Not much of an effect in this game. I still want to see his bounce back game.
Yeah, but
he had the great one of the Vikings, and since then it's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, but he did have a great catch at one point on the right side.
Yep, I have that in a little bit.
He didn't have any drops.
True, yeah.
And
he actually may have, but he kind of got hit.
Yeah.
He got kind of sandwiched between these guys.
But his other catches were pretty big. I mean, as far as keeping drives alive. I mean,
absolutely.
He's not putting up A.J. Brown numbers, but that's going to come. We're going to get him. For some reason, their defense, which, again, they were ranked 20, running 26. They were stopping our run like crazy, and every time a guy caught a ball, they got hammered.
Absolutely.
And we're screaming.
No guy was getting almost at least in the first half. No one was catching the ball and not getting hit, except maybe Goddard twice.
Goddard did have that outside pass.
But other than that, man, it felt like every time our guy was catching the ball, he was tucking it and then getting tackled or running into a guy. Like they were all over.
They were playing great defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I would not play down their defense, even though they might have given up 400 yards from us yesterday or close to it. They kept them in the game. The defense kept them in the game. It's just the offense. And I heard a lot of stuff on some of the shows last night, the Finns frauds or whatever. I don't believe that. I mean, we just played a better game, and I think our defense is coming around. And if we can get these guys like Ricks and some of these other guys, Sidney Brown, to play more than one game in a row, like a couple games, and now we picked up a guy, that would be great.
Yeah, Ricks is one of my favorite guys. So
played great.
He's one of my guys.
So
who did you have selected? Yeah,
mine was Jalen Carter. One tackle, I believe you said. But again, they had -7 yards rushing in the first half. And that is the game. That was the key to the game. I don't know if he had the tackles, but he's definitely stuffing it. Again, Davis had another great game. Fletch played great. He got rolled up on one time.
Yeah.
We thought he was coming out, and then he was on.
He was on the field next 2 plays later.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's just something to look for, but it's kind of hard without being able to rewatch the game. When you're at the game, there's so much happening. It's hard to.
Not really any replays. I mean, there's the replays on the screens, but it's far away. They're kind of like, I can't. Did he catch it? Stuff like that.
But defense, I'll tell you what. If this continues the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, we have got something going on here. That defensive line is just getting better and better every week.
Yeah, I feel like the defensive tackle position we've always talked about. It's one of the hardest positions in terms of no glory. I mean, I know the offensive line always gets that as well. But yeah, he only logged 1 tackle, and I'm like, see, that's just wrong. Because he was around a lot more than that.
Well, if you remember on that, when the one play that Tua ran the ball with the weird play,
correct.
Like it was almost like somebody moved it, but nobody flagged. He slid, and Jalen Carter did touch him down for -3 rushing yards, but they didn't call it a sack.
No sack, yeah,
which
because it was a design run, and it wasn't because if you drop back with the intention of passing and then you run, it can be a sack.
Yeah.
But if
he stood there
and he
stood there,
he started running, but it broke down.
Yeah, it didn't know what to do. It was a shame because obviously we want our guys to get some stack numbers.
Yes.
And and Davis did get a half sack along with Cox, and of course Sweat was amazing with 2 sacks. And then Nolan Smith, you got a little thing to say about him, right?
It was great. He had a sack. I mean, he only had 4 offensive snaps. 2 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, a sack, and a QB hit.
It's incredible.
In 4 snaps. I think Barnett had 7, so it wasn't like Barnett had the 20 and he had 4,
Yeah.
but that still needs to change. It's time to trade Barnett.
If we can.
We're waiting. We're wasting our time. I'm sorry, and I might. Hopefully, I don't hurt anyone's feelings. I don't think any Eagles fans are going to be heartbroken by this, but I feel like it's just time. We've wasted our time long enough. I think we've held on to him way too long.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say, without rewatching that game, I don't remember any plays where he was near the quarterback.
Yeah.
Sweat was there half the game. So was
Reddick.
Davis. So was Reddick. Yeah, Reddick was incredible in that game. I mean, we're talking Defensive Player of the Year, even if he doesn't have the sacks, because he had 2 or 3 -5 yard carry. He was hitting guys 5,
3
6,
yards,
7
4
yard
yards
carry,
behind the ball,
and
yeah.
just destroying them. Not even, he was just running over them, and he's playing a very light. And I'll tell you what, I was saying this to you earlier. I mean, I'd love to see us lock him up for another. I don't know how many years we have him for.
2 more.
Well,
This year and next
maybe
year.
it's time he retires as an Eagle, but because man, he's playing at a high level. At 29 years old, right?
29.
Dude, he was just playing amazing, and
Yeah.
he as he goes, and it's really been the last month that he's just been unstoppable. And I mean, it's just going to open up things for more. But like I say, Nolan Smith, when he got that beautiful sack, I mean, it was super fast, came out of nowhere, made a great tackle. I don't know. I just think it's time to, like you say, get rid of Barnett.
Move on. Let's go.
Package him
come
somehow.
on.
Do something.
We
Yeah.
know already now that Nolan Smith has something
Yeah,
and
he's-
will be someone. So let's go.
Yeah.
Move him into
For
the
sure.
spot. I don't like it, but jumping over to our quick little MVP of the game. Who do you have as your MVP of yesterday's game?
Well, like I just said, I think it was Reddick all
Reddick,
the way.
yeah.
Oh
Phenomenal.
gosh, he was. I don't know how many tackles he had. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm slow on this round.
I mean, 3 or 4 behind the line of scrimmage, and they weren't like 1 yard. They were like 5 yarders. He was just destroying. He blew up their whole offense.
Yeah.
It was just really just.
Yeah,
just
as I mentioned,
Just whack.
Wi-Fi here is basically non-existent, so I
Yeah,
have
he was
almost
incredible.
no stats here.
So yeah, I'm gonna go roll.
4 tackles. 4 tackles, no
One sack.
sacks. No
No
sacks.
sacks.
Didn't have any sacks.
Yeah, but his tackles were all for
They
loss.
were big.
Yeah, they were all. For loss.
My MVP of the game is actually going to go to. It's not a player. It's going to go to Sean Desai, our defensive coordinator.
Good call.
Probably the MVP of the season. I mean, the defense has been incredible, and at times it's patched together with duct tape. I mean, we're playing guys out there. We started the season already not too great with Justin Evans, and I mean, I love Reed Blankenship. I do. You do too.
Yeah.
But he is still a rookie in terms of games played.
Well, let's see, 6 last year. So now we're looking at. He's only played 3 or 4 this year. He's been injured
That's
for a
true. He's
couple.
missed 2.
Sidney Brown's played. Well, who is it they keep saying?
Sidney Brown missed 3 games.
Has played 16 plays in his career. I don't know.
Oh,
which
Sidney
one.
Brown.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
incredible.
Sidney Brown before this week had played 16 games
Defensive snaps
in his career.
Yeah.
So, it's patched together. And then, Avonte Maddox gets hurt, and then we lose Bradley Roby, who
One game.
also wasn't even
Right.
a big deal.
And he played well.
Well, he was out yesterday.
But I mean,
Played.
last week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
But he got hurt right away, too. So then it's patched together. Eli Ricks, Mekhi Garner is pulled in. I mean, Justin Evans goes on IR.
Yes.
We got rid of Edmonds, which we're going to talk about in a second.
But it wasn't like we were playing a running team. We were playing one of the best passing teams in the league.
Yeah.
And they just totally shut them out.
But I just want to say MVP of the game and really MVP of the season because he has taken a defense that is not supposed to be good with all these injuries. I mean, Slay missed last week.
Right.
Radbury missed a game.
Yes.
Ricks went out for a game. It's patched together with duct tape, and it's going up against the greatest offense in history, passing-wise, and they held him.
Greatest show on turf, too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Jumping over to our Under the Nest, some of these, Under the Nest is when we choose plays from the game that we think went under the radar, unnoticed, but may have had a big impact on the game. How many, or what play do you have first?
Well, we were talking about this earlier, and it was kind of hard because, again, under the nest play. But when Gainwell scored the touchdown, the game winner, the ceiling touchdown, if you watch Jack Stoll, he was in motion,
Yes.
and he just destroyed somebody that was coming in. I mean, he just blew him off the ball, and Gainwell was able to go outside of his left shoulder, and then he got hit and spun again. But if anything, where the under the nest is what it counts for, was that player or that play that most people aren't going to see. That to me, that was the under the nest play of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to choose at least one from offense, one from defense, but I couldn't really find a defensive one because there was really no under the radar plays. Every play we made was a big play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we really didn't have any plays that were like, oh, that was underrated, or no, it was either a great play or a bad play. So I didn't really have one for the defense. For the offense, with over 3 minutes left in the third quarter, after Hurts threw the pick six, it was our ball. A few plays, I don't know which play it was maybe the fourth play of that drive. Hurts rolled out, hung into the pocket. He was in the pocket, kind of moved up forward to escape the rush. He hung in there for a little bit longer, and I'm like, oh, he's going to run, or he's going to, what is he going to do, or get tackled? And he hit Devontae for a 25-yard gain. That was Devontae's big play of the game. And it was a first down already. It was first down, and then he went for 25 yards into the other territory,
right.
across the 50. And it really, from then on, it was over. I mean, we went down and scored. Then the defense stopped him. We went down and scored. It was kind of over. When we got that play, we were popping on all cylinders there.
Yeah, they were. And it's funny because a lot of people were calling, again, I watched some of the late night shows last night, and they were talking about our 2 Philly pushes that we did on the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
One, we were at our own 29-yard line, I believe. And the second one was funny because we sent the punt team out. And it was, I think,
So the first one we sent the punt team out.
and then they came back in and
called a timeout, and we were all booing. Oh, we were like, oh. And the Dolphins fan behind us, he's like, oh my God, I can't believe they're going to punt it. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
And then they ran him out, and I looked back, and he was like,
they were just buying some time.
Yeah.
So then we got that fourth down, and then the next one, so we got another first down. And then by then we were at the 40, 45. And we knew at the time, this is it, go down and score, and we did. But like you were saying, that one play that, you didn't mention this one, but the pass to A.J. Brown was very uncharacteristic for me because, he was just about to get hit, and I'm thinking, just keep moving the ball slowly down the field, right? And that's my mentality. Play for the field goal, we'll get a touchdown maybe.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And Gainwell kind of missed the tackle, but he did redirect. I think it was Gunkel, whatever that guy's name. Ginkle. And he was bearing down on Hurts, and he stayed in the pocket and just flipped that ball down the field to Brown. And Maryland, great catch at the 10. Game was over at that point.
It was great.
We knew we were going to score a touchdown there, but there was some. I mean, we blamed Jalen a few times. And we're overcritical, I think, at times, but that was a fantastic play.
Incredible play.
Fantastic.
Incredible pass, incredible catch.
Oh yeah, one more thing was the limping of
Hurts was hurt
early on.
Don't know how extreme it were. We knew really quick when we saw him roll out.
That's first quarter.
It was like, what the heck? And there was fans around us who were going, he's hurt. That was not right.
He's hobbled.
That was rough. Yeah, I saw it afterwards. He said he had a knee injury.
But of course, when he rolled, another criticism that we have is whenever he rolls out left or right, he can't throw the ball. Well, he rolled right.
Yeah.
And he was running good at that time.
His 2 best plays were AJ. I'm sorry, not 2 best plays, but one of his best plays was the AJ, almost touchdown. He got tackled the one. He was rolling out to the right and then rolling out to the left. He hit Devontae for that 25-yard gain I talked about. But we're going to move over to our roster changes. Biggest one we're going to talk about today. We traded for Kevin Byard. Very excited for that. We were at the Yangling Brewery when we found out. We were kind of going on our tour, and I was like, Dad, we traded for Kevin Byard. Like, oh my God, we couldn't believe it. We get him. The Titans get Edmonds.
Yeah, we get rid of Edmonds.
They get rid of Edmonds, man. 2024 5th round pick, 2024 6th round pick.
Right.
Dude, the Titans need to, a lot of people have been saying it, so I'm not going to claim it as my own joke, but the Titans need to block Howie's phone number. Because this is insane. This is highway robbery.
Yeah, that was great.
And maybe we're wrong, I don't know, but Byard is a 2-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, most recently in 2021, so it's not like it's like, oh, he's been away for a while. No, he's still really good, so that's awesome. We'll go ahead and jump onto the Eagles' rooting guide. Not all of them, just the big ones in the NFC. Giants, they defeated Washington. That's kind of what we wanted.
Sure.
Giants were 1-5. Might as well let them go 2-5. Just mess up their draft pick a little bit.
Agreed.
Yeah. Niners, they're playing right now. They're losing to the Vikings. We're trying to get this done quick so we can watch the game. But
second half.
Yeah, second half right now. The Falcons, they defeated the Bucks 16-13. That's big in playoff picture.
Sure.
The Ravens, they defeated the Lions 38-6. Sorry, they didn't defeat the Lions 38-6. They destroyed the Lions 38-6. Was phenomenal. Well, not phenomenal because I don't know. I feel bad, but just killed them.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, they defeated the Cardinals 20-10. Seahawks are still looking like they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
And then nice to see the Rams lost to the Steelers 24-17.
Yeah, and the Steelers were losing that game the whole game. I think they 17-10 in the fourth quarter or something, but they put it together and beat them. So again.
All right, jumping over next week in a loop, we got the Commanders in Washington. Normal 1 o'clock game for us back. Sorry, 1 o'clock game for us here. I'm sorry. Well, 1 o'clock for the Philly. 11 back home in Colorado Springs.
Early morning game, Sunday morning. We like that.
That's what we like. We like that a lot. In other news, we don't want to talk about it too long. It's unfortunate because the Phillies won last night, which was fun for us. 2 nights ago. It was fun for us because it was before the Eagles game, and the Eagles won the next night. And it was just we were kind of on a high. It was a lot of fun. Lost a horrible one tonight, 5-1. Could not. Bats went silent.
Yeah,
couldn't do anything. Nola, he was out of character. Didn't seem right. But other than that, do you have anything else to say about this week? Anything else we want to talk about?
Not really. Looking forward to getting home again. I mean, being at the game was great. I'd love to do that every week. But, we look forward to getting back to the nest, our nest there in the Colorado Springs. We've been on the road for 2 games now, so we missed the Jets game, of course. Maybe not missed it, but but this game would have been wonderful with our fans. It would have been a real hug fest, and we would have really enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah, I will say, like last week, we were in Phoenix for my grandmother's funeral, and we were just ready to get home. And same with this week, we're having fun. We had fun in Phoenix too, but we're just ready to get home. Like it's just a lot on the body, the traveling and the driving. We're seeing a lot of family this week as well. So, and then we've got the Phillies game again tomorrow. Now that there's Game 7.
Yeah, let's go.
And then the Sixers on Thursday. I'm hoping to try to find a way to watch that at some point. That's their first game of the season, of course. So, hoping to get all that done, but. Other than that, we'll go ahead and say our goodbye. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. If you like our Eagles Therapy podcast, do us a favor. Rate and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you're listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. You can email us your questions at oureaglestherapy@gmail.com. But other than that, from us here at Our Eagles Therapy podcast, I'm Basil.
And I'm Baz.
Go Birds.
And fly, Eagles, fly.